There are attitudes that erode the respect a person receives, not through explosions or scandals, but slowly, quietly, almost invisibly. They're habits that seem harmless, that blend into daily life, but over time they weaken your image, credibility, and the trust others place in you. The unsettling truth is that most people who repeat these behaviors believe they're doing nothing wrong, unaware that they're sabotaging their own relationships. In any environment, family, professional or social, respect is the invisible foundation that holds everything together. When that foundation cracks, instability follows. No talent, appearance, or charisma can sustain what lacks integrity. And although many believe respect depends on what others think, the Stoics taught that it begins with inner coherence. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Care more about what you do than what others say." That's the essence of today's message. We'll uncover 4 common attitudes, so common they seem harmless, that quietly destroy the respect you receive. This isn't about judgment. It's an invitation to awareness, because only what is acknowledged can be transformed. Before we go further, a quick request. If this kind of reflection resonates with you, subscribe to the channel The Power of the Stoics and share in the comments where you're watching from. Every comment, every like, every subscription strengthens this community that believes in growth, discipline, and clarity of mind. Thank you for walking this path of self-knowledge with us. Back to the point. The loss of respect rarely happens through big events. It's born from small inconsistencies. A careless word, a broken promise, a joke that cuts too deep. As Seneca warned, nothing but time reveals a man's character, and it is time that destroys the respect of the dishonest. The first behavior that silently weakens a person's reputation is talking about others when they're not around. Gossip, disguised as a casual comment or just sharing, is one of the most subtle forms of social self-sabotage. The one who engages in it thinks they're simply chatting, but what they really communicate is distrust. Once, in a law office, there was an employee named Marina. She was friendly, talkative, and always seemed to know everything before anyone else. People trusted her with their secrets. But little by little, stories she shared started sounding familiar. They were private confessions from others. One day, the director overheard a personal detail that could only have come from her. In that instant, the trust was gone. She didn't lose her job, but she lost something far more valuable: respect. Epictetus, the slave who became a philosopher, warned, "What is not yours, do not carry on your tongue. Respect is born from discretion." The one who resists the urge to speak about what's not theirs to share demonstrates self-control, and that self-control is seen as strength. On the other hand, the one who feeds on gossip transmits instability. Even if no one says it aloud, the message is clear. If they talk about others, they'll talk about me too. Avoiding gossip isn't being cold. It's being honorable. It's choosing to be remembered for the trust you inspire, not the rumors you spread. The Stoics knew there's power in silence. As Seneca said, "Nothing destroys respect faster than a tongue that moves too quickly." But respect isn't only lost through what we say, it's also lost through what we promise and fail to deliver. In today's world, reliability has become rare. Everyone promises, few follow through. The second toxic habit is being unreliable, letting your word lose its weight. And the worst part is, it's often unintentional. People say, "I'll be there, I'll help, I'll do it tomorrow," and then disappear. Daniel, a gifted designer, was admired for his creativity, but also known for missing deadlines. When he said, "I'll send it tomorrow," everyone silently added 2 more days. At first it was harmless. Later, it became frustrating. One day a major international project opened up. Daniel was the most talented candidate, but his boss hesitated. He chose someone else, less brilliant but more reliable. When Daniel found out, he realized he hadn't just lost an opportunity, he had lost the value of his word. Seneca wrote, "Nothing is more precious than the commitment of an honest man. His word is his bond." Reliability isn't built with beautiful promises, but with consistent actions. Arriving on time, keeping your word, communicating changes. People don't expect perfection, they expect coherence. And when someone is consistently coherent, respect follows naturally. Respect grows from trust, and trust grows from consistency. The third poison that corrodes respect is subtler still: interrupting others. It seems like a small thing, after all, who hasn't done it? But when it becomes a pattern, it exposes something deeper: ego and impatience. Camilla, a passionate teacher, loved discussions, but she had the habit of cutting people off. Every time a student spoke, she would jump in, finish their sentence, or correct them. She thought she was helping, until one of her students said gently, "Professor, sometimes it feels like you don't want to hear us, just to be right." That sentence hit her like a mirror. That day she realized that listening is also a form of respect. Epictetus reminded his students, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, to listen twice as much as we speak." Interrupting says, "Even unconsciously, what I have to say is more important than what you're saying now." And when people feel that repeatedly, respect fades. Learning to listen with presence is a sign of strength, not weakness. Their silent, attentive mind commands more respect than a loud, restless one. And in a noisy, anxious world like ours, the one who knows how to listen becomes a beacon of peace. There's one more attitude, perhaps the most common of all, and yet one of the most damaging: complaining too much. Few things drain respect and energy as quickly as constant negativity. Complaining has become socially acceptable, a kind of emotional release that seems harmless, but slowly turns your presence into a burden. The Stoics taught that complaining is a waste of energy on what lies beyond your control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, and nothing pollutes those thoughts more than the habit of constant dissatisfaction." Raphael, a disciplined manager, had one flaw that was ruining his influence. He complained about everything: the traffic, the company, the weather, the people. At first, his colleagues listened patiently. Then they started to distance themselves, not out of anger but exhaustion. Until one day a co-worker told him with quiet honesty, "You're good at what you do, Rafa, but it's hard to be around you for long." That moment hit him deeply. For the first time, he realized he wasn't just draining his own energy. He was also eroding the respect of those around him. The problem with chronic complaining is that it steals responsibility. The person who always complains lives as a victim, and victims by nature don't inspire respect. The Stoics often repeated, "Don't complain about reality. Change what you can and accept what you cannot." The difference between someone respected and someone merely tolerated lies in their posture toward life. The first acts, the second laments. Respect is born from self-mastery, from choosing where to place your energy. When someone stops complaining and starts acting or accepting, everything changes. The tone of their voice, their gaze, their very presence. The air around them feels lighter. People begin to approach them, not because they must, but because it feels good to be near someone who radiates calm. And in today's chaotic world, that's rare. In a time when everyone shouts, the one who stays serene commands respect without asking for it. Ask yourself, when you speak, do people feel relieved or tense? When you walk into a room, does the atmosphere rise or sink? The answers will tell you how much respect you inspire or how much you've already lost. The good news is that none of these habits are permanent. Gossiping, breaking promises, interrupting, or complaining all can be unlearned, but not through slogans or wishful thinking, only through awareness, practice, and discipline. Epictetus said it clearly, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Mastery begins with observation, with the courage to look at yourself without excuses. Change demands courage, but staying the same has a cost too. Most people want respect, but few are willing to practice what it requires. They want to be heard but don't listen. They want to be trusted but break promises. They want admiration but live in complaint. Respect cannot be demanded, it must be earned. And it is earned through consistency. There's a common thread among all these destructive attitudes: the lack of presence. Gossip comes from a lack of focus on your own path. Unreliability stems from a lack of awareness of your words. Interrupting arises from a lack of patience. And complaining comes from a lack of acceptance. Presence is the root of respect, being fully engaged in what you do, say, and promise. That's what Stoicism truly teaches, living every moment with awareness and purpose. And if you've made it this far, it means you're truly ready to grow. So take this moment and subscribe to the Power of the Stoics, and write in the comments, "I choose to be worthy of respect." It's more than a phrase, it's a declaration of self-transformation. Respect isn't built overnight. It's constructed through daily choices, not repeating what you hear, keeping your word, listening before speaking, gratitude instead of complaint. Small actions repeated consistently determine how the world perceives you. Seneca once said, "True greatness consists in being master of oneself." Think about the people you most admire. They're rarely the loudest, the richest, or the most charming. They're the most consistent. Their word carries weight. Their silence inspires. They don't have to prove themselves. Their conduct speaks for them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike those who do wrong." Applied today, that means don't be like those who gossip. Don't be like those who promise and don't deliver. Don't be like those who only complain. Be the one who inspires trust, calm, and purpose. Respect isn't about tone of voice. It's about the serenity with which you move through the world. It's about consistency, character, and the quiet strength of inner control. The Stoics taught that the only things under your control are your actions, intentions, and judgments. Everything else, other people's words, outcomes, or opinions, isn't yours to command. Once you understand that, you stop chasing others' respect and start living respectably. It's a subtle but life-changing shift. Respect can't be demanded. It radiates naturally from those who live with integrity. It's born from the calm of knowing you're doing what's right, even when no one's watching. So from this day forward, whenever you feel tempted to gossip, break a promise, interrupt, or complain, pause and ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is yes, act. If it's no, accept. That simple discipline can free your mind and restore your peace. Respect is also freedom, because the one who lives honorably has nothing left to prove. Their life becomes their message. If this video helped you reflect, like, share, and subscribe to the power of the Stoics. Here, philosophy isn't abstract. It's practical wisdom for your daily life. And before you go, leave this in the comments. Today, I choose to be worthy of respect. Your presence here shows you're willing to grow, and that's already rare. Keep practicing, observing, and choosing what strengthens you. Remember, the respect you receive is a reflection of the respect you give, and when you truly understand that, you'll no longer need validation. You'll become your own reference point. See you in the next video. Until then, carry into the world what uplifts and leave behind what doesn't.